interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a late night Friday edition of Vikings Uncensored. I know we said we were going to do it on Saturday last week, but scheduling conflicts had us move it up to late night Fridays. So thank you guys for joining us as always. Morris is here. Bob is here.
Doc.
Riley's here. Doc has been awake since 3 a.m. It's 8:30. Yeah, there might be typos. Hey, you're here, Doc. That's all that matters. So, but yeah, we have reached the bye week for the Minnesota Vikings after the 2-week European vacation. They have a
yeah.
yeah, that's exactly where he's at, Ant. But School for Life. Good evening.
God, I love you guys in the comments. You guys are like an extended family to me. I love the weekly shows and just coming together and talking Vikings, man.
Absolutely. But yeah, the bye week coming at a very good time for the Vikings. We were down basically to drawing names out of a hat to go play offensive line against the Cleveland Browns last week, which surprisingly
The number one defense in the league. Number one defense in the league.
Yeah, but surprisingly, it worked out pretty damn well, actually. So, we had a guy, or Blake Brandel, playing center who had never played center in a actual game in his entire life, who actually looked better than Michael Juergens. So we'll talk about that in a little bit here too. But the Vikings split the Euro trip 1-1.
Ideally, we would have came out 2-0, but
should have.
It's the NFL.
Yeah, so. And we forgot to show up for the first half of the Dublin game. And apparently Jordan Addison forgot to show up for walkthroughs, but
okay. So Rhino, on that note that you just said there, and I'm just thinking this is coming to me right now. KOC has had a problem with slow starts throughout his entire tenure here when it comes to the game.
Kind of has.
He's definitely second half team. We're never out of the game. We've never been out of a game with KOC. Very seldom, maybe one or two. Very seldom with Kevin O'Connell manning the helm. But yeah, I'm just now that I'm thinking, he is kind of he's. If we could just fucking fire on all cylinders coming out, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. AWOL ad. Yeah. We might as well hit that one right off the get-go here just to we get to the game, and of course the crack announcing crew that they had, or the announcing crew on crack, whichever way you want to look at it, for somehow or another failed to mention for the entire first fucking quarter why Jordan Addison was on the bench.
Right. It was like until the last 2 minutes of the first quarter.
I don't think they ever brought it up. It was just all of a sudden, oh, hey, Jordan Addison's out here now. We had to find out from the Vikings beat reporters and that kind of thing that Jordan Addison actually had gotten benched for the first quarter. Yes, exactly, Riley. Because apparently he decided to take it upon himself to go sightseeing or something away from the team and missed a walkthrough practice.
Who else is, I mean, who other than Addison? Who other than Addison's going to go do something like that? He needs to stop that shit. I mean,
It's
I laugh at it looking back, but I mean, he needs to grow the fuck up, to be all honest.
It's frustrating as fuck. Because I mean, the guy just come back from a 3-game suspension for being a dumbass and passing out on the fucking interstate in Los Angeles.
But
And then he goes AWOL when you're supposed to be at practice.
it's like fucking a little kid, man, for real. But you know,
The thing of it is, he legitimately is one of the top probably 15 wide receivers in the entire fucking
Riley
league.
with another great comment here.
Yeah, there's that too.
There's
Yes,
during the preseason,
absolutely.
you know, so we could avoid injuries during the regular season.
Right.
That went really well. But yeah, going off of that, you know, we asked for it last week, right now. We've been asking for it for quite some time. Kevin O'Connell holding these fucking players accountable, you know, and showing a little bit of a grit, a little bit of an edge. Maybe he's, you know, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I mean, from the outside looking in, for him looking inside of himself, to do that, to take accountability and suspend him for a quarter of the game, or not let it bench him for a quarter. That's what you got to do. That's one of the
Right. I mean, you had to. I mean,
yeah.
and you know, he put the team in a bad spot. He put himself in a bad spot. And it, you know, you look at, then you have that, and then you look at Justin Jefferson after the game in his press conference. He's like, I got to do a better job taking him under my wing and getting his head on straight and this and everything else.
But you know what, though, Rhino? Beyond Barry Sanders and a couple other those superstar type of players, he's one of one as far as a human being goes. Jefferson.
Yeah.
With the leadership, with you know, just being grounded, you know, for real. I think that term gets tossed around a lot.
He was taking responsibility for his teammate being a dumbass.
Right. I mean, we are so blessed to have number 18 in Justin Jefferson suiting up as a Viking. As a fan, as an organization, the guy is through and through one of the real ones. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, Norris. That's a very good point, and I watched that Purple.
I like
Daily,
the comment, Norris.
or listened
We're
to the
getting
Purple
there.
Daily
Yeah,
episode.
I love that comment.
Let's roll through some news stuff really quick first, and then we'll recap the Browns game, talk about some of that. Then we'll talk about some of the key stuff going on during the bye week, and of course, we'll hit our prediction segment at the end. But first off, non-Vikings news, but the Cincinnati Bengals went out and traded for a quarterback this week because Jake Browning is just been
crap. He's been
stinking up the joint. So what do? They go and trade with a division rival for the quarterback that just got benched. They went and took 86-year-old Joe Flacco from the Cleveland Browns.
You guys bought a statue as a statue can get at this age. You know, at his age right now. I mean, he's got the arm talent still. You can't deny that.
He does, but Cincinnati's offensive line is garbage. Flacco is going to get killed behind that offensive line.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, they got to get that fixed. That's why do you think Burrow's on the fucking IR?
Well, yeah, that's why Burrow gets killed or hurt every year because they have a shit offensive. Their offensive line is worse than ours was when it was at our worst.
Yeah. It's pretty damn close.
In their defense, who else is available? Doc.
I talked Tannehill out of fucking retirement.
Tannehill is sitting out there. They could have went and got Jameis Winston. They could have went and got any number. They could have went and traded for Kirk Cousins for, you know, realistically.
You know, Jameis is still in that age of his career where he could have a renaissance. But
yeah, I mean, Cousins with those weapons in Cincy could do some stuff. I mean, granted, you have a shit offensive line again, the same problem, but trade for Shador. It took Cleveland most of the fucking week just to say that Shadur is the back quarterback
You know,
two.
you know what? I don't know what the deal is with Shador. I mean, the guy can play ball. I think,
I know
anyways.
he can't.
I think he can play. I
He's a
mean,
500 quarterback.
he's looked okay to me. I don't care for him as the person that he is, but he's got something that you can work with there. I mean, I would have traded if Shadur was available. I would have went after Shadur over Flacco, but that's me.
I don't want either one of them.
Oh yeah, that too.
I, I am so off the fucking Shadur Sanders train. This whole career or 500 quarterback in college, and then I mean, yes, a lot of it is the off the field personal stuff that drives me fucking nuts. But
I think he
all these
deserves to
people
have a
out here,
shot.
all these people out here saying that Shadur Sanders is the second coming of freaking, the combination of Peyton Manning, Jim Kelly,
Yeah, I'm
Dan
not going to go
Marino,
that
all
far
this
at him
other
by any
shit. I mean,
means. You go back and
no,
watch shows, you've seen my opinion on him before too.
we
But I mean,
talked we talked
I
about him.
think he deserves an honest shot somewhere at some point.
Well, everybody
Unless
deserves
he's
a
just really
shot.
that bad. But from what I mean, he can play. We'll see. Maybe.
No, I was never on the Shadur train, Ant. If you guys were watching in the pre-draft stuff and everything else, like I said, I said if his name was Shadur Smith, he was a fifth or sixth round pick, and even though his name was Sanders, he was still a fifth round pick. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think he deserves a shot, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you guys
he's
want to
got
know
to
any
earn.
more,
He's got to earn it. And he hasn't earned shit in his entire life. Everything he's gotten his entire life is because his last name is Sanders and his old man is Primetime.
yeah. I mean, the human being, I'm not a big fan of, but right.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, Doc. There's that too. Yes, but
yo, yeah.
exactly, Norse. But anyway, on to some Vikings news stuff. JJ McCarthy starting practicing again. He's in the facility during the bye week. Apparently, Jordan Addison is going to be there too and be working out with him.
That's
They
the mouth of Jordan Addison.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
was
he's just one of those types. Just one of those
Yeah.
types.
I mean, when you go and retire his fucking jersey 5 minutes after he declares for the draft, when he's a 500 quarterback. I mean, we played him last year. North Dakota State did, and should have beaten him. But it was Travis Hunter was the one that caused us to not win that game. But he's never to me been anywhere as good as what the hype says he is. But there's a lot of players out there. I'm not just picking on Shador, but
How dare you?
what's that?
How dare you, Rhino?
Yeah. Okay, Greta. um, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no shit, Doc.
well, he made a comment that he's going to be there working out with McCarthy. So yeah,
He said to go make this money when he got drafted. Well, he's not helping his draft. He's not helping his next contract stock.
no, or if it and whatever he gets next time, whether it's with us or whether it's with somebody else, yeah, it's going to have to be incentive laden as hell because
You know,
you can't trust him
he's
right
one
now.
of those guys I look at and I just can't get a good read on how he's feeling. Usually you can look at somebody and kind of get a good idea of what they're thinking about or something like that. Intuitionally. But he's a mystery box to me. Is he not happy here? I don't want to say that because I don't want that to blow up. But
Yeah, I mean he's got a look. He's got that kind of Percy Harvin, Stephon Diggs type vibe going on.
kind of, yeah, I kind of feel that too a little bit. But like I said, I
Also,
look at him, and I really don't know what's going on in that mind of his.
yeah, he's got a.
He's got all the talent in the world to
Oh,
be a
like I said
great
earlier,
receiver, number one on many other
like I
teams.
said, he's a top 15 receiver in this league.
Yeah,
But he's got to get it straightened out. You're going to be a player in the NFL if you're lucky for 10 years, which puts you at like
What's that?
32, 33 by the time your career's winding down. Keep your nose clean. You're going to make $100 million. But by doing this stupid shit, you're costing yourself
Yeah, yeah.
all of this, especially guaranteed money. You might get a contract that's up there, but the guarantees aren't going to be there until you can prove that a team can trust you.
Maybe we could use that in leverage too when it comes to contract
It's
talks.
gonna come up in conversation.
Yeah.
You know it's going to. But anyway, other injury news though: Blake Cashman's 21-day window has been opened back
Me
up.
too, Riley. Me too.
Yeah, my day's not
Working
even
9 to 5.
my day's not even winding down, let alone my career. So, Donovan Jackson, Michael Juergens, both back practicing as well. So hopefully we're going to get a bunch of the guys back. Now, couple of the guys that Kevin O'Connell did not mention when they say getting a bunch of guys back, Brian O'Neill being one of them, Andrew Van Ginkel being another one. That one's starting to concern me a little bit.
Well, neck things always concern me. That could be lingering throughout the entire season, and that's kind of. And he's not a young buck either. He's getting up there in age.
Yeah, but I mean, it's another one of those things. We gave him a contract extension at the in the off season, and now because he was grossly underpaid last year. But
We need Cashman and Gink back. We need both those guys
yeah,
back in the lineup.
I
That would
mean,
go a long way in shoring up this run defense. That's for sure.
absolutely, it would. But anyway, let's roll over and do a quick recap on the Browns game, and then we'll kind of move on from there. But
We're getting there, Josh. We're getting there, bud.
that one, we'll hit that one in just a minute. Tough to have discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Doc. I mean, true. I did a lot of stupid shit in my 40s. Let's be fucking honest. But
There's very rarely that you get these professional athletes that come in with the right head, like Jefferson or
yeah, they said
or
Jefferson.
McCarthy.
Jefferson is a unicorn in that kind of thing. I mean, especially at his position where wide receivers are just naturally divas, it seems like.
Another good comment coming in from Gary. We'll get there. We're getting there.
Yep.
A little bit of open discussion coming up here.
Right. So, quick recap on the Browns game. That patchwork offensive line that they threw together, I thought by and large they did pretty well.
You know what, though, Rhino? That ties hand in hand and with how KOC called the game.
Yep.
We've been asking for it.
Which to the comment earlier, yeah, you did a lot of the quick passing and stuff. And, yeah, he looked like he was annoyed that he had to call that kind of game.
Well, the thing is that he tried going back to his longer developing plays a couple of times during the game. You can point out the plays exactly where they were, and they weren't working. But to have the ability to just go back to the quick passing game, I got to commend him for that. And the rhythm was up to snuff. The rhythm was there. We weren't having any issues moving the ball against this Cleveland defense. It's the 2 fumbles. If you take those 2 fumbles away,
this game we would have won by 2 scores.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. You can't be putting the ball on the ground like that.
No,
you just cannot. But I commend KOC. The offensive line looked great with the Brando comment coming up, a couple of them so far. But with KOC also complementing that with the way he was calling the game.
Yeah. But the thing, and to Norris's point earlier, with him looking like he was pissed off that he had to call that kind of game, that's got to come with the maturation of Kevin O'Connell as a head coach and a play caller.
1,000%, Rhino. 1,000% agree with that.
You cannot get pissed because you can't call the game that you want to call. you have to adjust your play calling depending upon your opposition.
Do
You
not
can't,
expect out of your players what you can't expect out of yourself.
right. You can't just go out there. This is my playbook. This is how we are going to run things. And I mean, we've had that problem over the years with head coaches. Zimmer was horrible that way.
This is why Kevin O'Connell gets my game ball this week. Because of Kevin O'Connell and his play calling, it kept Carson clean. It kept him in rhythm.
For the most part,
high percentage passes. This is probably one of the better games. Not that this is one of the better games that Kevin O'Connell has called as a play caller.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
whether he hated it or not, yes.
And if you could just get methodical with those deep shots, where you mix it in at the right times, and then when we get that offensive line back, then you can start looking at your philosophy a little bit more, maybe getting back to that longer game. The protection just hasn't been there the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yep. No, I don't disagree with you on that at all, Norris. But, and like I said, that's where it's got to come. You can't get pissy if you have to change up your scheme and that kind of stuff for an opponent. That's what a good coach does.
And it's funny because
Brian Flores said that the day that he got hired, when they asked him, "Are you running a 3-4 or 4-3, whatever?" He said, "I don't know. Who are we playing next week?"
Right. And it's funny with O'Connell because he preaches about the small things that Montana did good when he was playing, and how Young did, played the game. These small dink and dunks to get to the
they played West Coast style
came
offense
out of KOC's mouth. It's not
right.
the most flashy, the best looking, amazing stuff that you're going to see, but it gets you points on the board.
Yeah, we don't have to be the greatest show on turf.
Do I want to see us dink and dunk like Kirk Cousins all the time? Hell no, I don't.
But you get a mix. You hit them with the dink and dunk and dink and dunk
Bingo.
and dink and dunk, and then boom, over the top.
Bingo. Methodical, yes. You set yourself up for
And
those
you
longer
take
plays.
what the defense is giving you. If they're giving you the deep shots, you take the deep shots. If they're taking that away, you hit that short to intermediate stuff and just methodically matriculate your way down the field.
Right, there you go, Hangstram. But I agree with Rhino from what he said earlier. I think KOC is still. I don't think it's time to throw in the towel on KOC and say he can't get it. I think he will get there. And it's just putting it all together. And I think, he's done great up to this point, but there's more room for improvement with KOC.
Yep. This is a very good comment here from Riley. This is what we saw with Sam Darnold last year too, especially in those, the games against Detroit and the Rams. You see a read, hit it. Don't just sit there, up, no, up, whoa, squirrel.
Right.
Yep. No. If the first read is open, you hit it.
Be a general. Be a fucking general.
And trust your guys. You have the best wide receiver on the planet running down there someplace. You have one of the 10 to 15 best wide receivers, also other wide receivers on the planet running down there someplace.
And honestly, if you go back and you look at the All-22s from the last 5 games, there are receivers running wide open that aren't getting hit.
Oh, yeah. There's been, in the last 3 games that Wentz has played, there's been multiple open options. I mean, realistically, what I've seen out of Wentz, minus some of the fireworks and stuff, is a lot of what we saw out of Darnold last year.
Yeah, but at least he's a little bit more efficient, I think. But Darnold was also getting those long looks
Yeah.
But
Wentz is better in the intermediate
he's
game
getting rid of the ball. He's getting rid of the ball quick enough.
Yeah.
He's the third best in the league this past week, and getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
So, I'm ready to give somebody, a little bit of a pat on the back, a couple claps. Jalen Naylor has looked like a good wide receiver 3 this year. Coming into the season, we had heard about the drops, but he's been there when called upon, when needed.
Yeah. And he's actually been one of those guys that's been open a lot on some of these missed plays. And to be honest, I mean, Naylor has firmly shoved Adam Thielen down to wide receiver 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, looking back on it now, the
Which
Adam
pisses
Thielen
me off
trade
even more about
probably
the Ty
wasn't net.
Felton pick. It pisses me off even more about the Ty Felton pick.
Yeah.
3rd rounder. And then
Yeah.
you got to go trade for fucking Adam Thielen because, I got a guy that can step in at number 2 receiver. That is mind-boggling to me on Questy's part. I'm just calling it
And then if you
there.
watched Thursday Night Football last night, we could have taken Cam Scatterbo instead of
Yes.
Ty Felton too. And I don't know, some third-rate hack podcaster was advocating for that ahead of time, but I digress.
Yeah, he was on your list for sure.
Yeah, he was. Anyway, we've had people asking about this and brought it up here a little bit too. Blake Brandel at center. Did we accidentally potentially find our future center?
I like the best thing I like about Brandel is just his size and physicality at the position, because there's never been a question mark about how physical Brandel can get, and there's never been a question about his anchor. It's just he's been playing all over the fucking line, but maybe the center's his calling, and to perform the way he did for never taking a snap at center in his college or his NFL career, he played damn well against a stout front 7.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, Brandel, when he first came in, was a tackle, and his problem was getting beat by the speed rushers on the outside.
Yes.
So then he moved him into guard, and when he played guard again, next to Darisaw, the first half of last year,
and Bradbury, got to throw that in there too.
Well, but Bradbury's when he
That's
played
exactly why.
When he played next to Darisaw, he was good at guard. When Darisaw got hurt last year and we had to go to Cam Robinson, then his play fell off because. But now, if you can put him in at that center position, I fully expected to see a couple of botched snaps or something.
Nothing.
No, and
get to the second level too, Rhino.
Yeah, and he's
finding extra work. I love that in the linemen.
Yeah, and he's getting up there, and I have nothing but good things to say about.
No, you do not give Jurgens you do not give Jurgens a starting rollback, and you don't rush Kelly out there unless Brandel starts to struggle.
Well, and
if Kelly even plays another snap in the NFL.
Yeah, he's 6'7", Doc. That is one thing. He is extremely tall for a center.
That's intimidating right there.
It is. Now, with Carson Wentz being 6'5", it is not such a big deal.
I mean, Burke was a bigger guy too.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't, but now McCarthy,
he wasn't 6'7" big, but he was over.
McCarthy's 6'2", so he's a little bit shorter. So, I don't know that that's so much of an issue. But if Brandel can cement him, at the very least, it makes him that much more valuable. That shows that he can step in there and play if need.
Dude, I think this offensive line held Myles Garrett to no sacks, and I think 3 or 4 pressures.
I think it was 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you effectively neutralized one of the best edge rushers in the league. The guy's had 14 sacks for like 4 years in a row, or 14 plus sacks.
Yeah, like I said, you take away those 2 fumbles, and the complimentary game was there. And not to mention Ryan Wright bombing a fucking 72-yard punt.
77-yard.
77-yard punt. There you go.
Yeah, but the big problem with it was, again, but beside the 2 fumbles that killed us, is them freaking pre-snap penalties again.
First half. We got together second half.
But and it seems like every time we have a kick or punt return, especially punt returns, somebody's doing a block in the back or something else to call back a very
and putting us behind the 20.
Right. Calls back a great punt return by Price, and then we end up, it's all negated because somebody does a block that has nothing to frickin' do. But we got to clean that up. Bye week we can work on it again. I don't know, Doc. I mean, I'm not a Michael Juergens fan.
I say you got to look and see what you got in Brandel at center. If he continues to play well, then you might have something there for the next year, 2 years.
I know they like Juergens, but Juergens gives me Garrett Bradbury vibes. I mean, just
He's
watching
well
him
compared to the
how
size.
he's played. I mean, he has some games where a game or two where he's played well, and he's had some other games where he's gotten run over like a freaking
Joe fucking Huber, dude. Another guy that stepped
yeah.
it up this week, came in,
No,
played a pretty damn good game.
another guy I bet
Schooley looked a lot better this week.
he did. Yeah, he did. I mean,
Schooley
we've
looked a lot
ripped
better,
it.
but a lot of that goes back with the complimentary play calling again. Just quick
Yep.
hitters, getting in a rhythm on offense.
Well, School held Myles Garrett to 0 pressures when Brandel was on his, or not Brandel, Darisaw was on his pitch count, which
Here we go. Right here is a good one. On Brandel. Take on Brandel. But yes, Schooley.
yeah.
But
But yeah,
Darisaw barely existed in the second half of the game.
he played the third quarter, but he didn't play the fourth quarter because they said he was on a pitch count. I don't care if he's on a pitch count, then you mix that in somewhere in the first 3 quarters.
Rotate series then or something.
Right.
If that's the case.
So, and Judd brought this up on Purple Daily this week, and he's like, he's guessing that Darisaw was feeling a little bit of pain or something in that knee in the fourth quarter, and that's why they took him out. Because you don't take out your best offensive lineman when the game is on the line because he's on a fucking pitch count. Call it whatever you want to call it, but if he was truly on a pitch count, you would have spread that out. Every third series he would take off.
Got away with it, Rhino. Maybe
we did, but
leave it in your game plan that it was working. You've seen that it was working. Maybe, See, now I heard whispers, and they were very quiet whispers.
Yeah, again, I haven't heard it from anybody super credible. I would love
it too.
To trade for him. Again, I was a big fan of the dude coming out of college. I would have been ecstatic if we'd have drafted him. He's another guy that can play guard and center, and that's that position flexibility that KOC and company love.
And physical.
Yeah.
I love the haircut.
I don't know what it would take to get him.
You're probably looking at a second, at least.
Maybe.
Throw Jonathan Allen in there to sweeten the pot.
Another name, and that, that would be a guy that could be moved now because we've seen with LDR and Ingram Dawkins and the backups that are playing there. That
I want to see some Elijah Williams. I'm ready for some Williams too. So
I mean, they've honestly outplayed our 2 big dollar nose or tackles.
Hargrave had a decent week this last week. I'll give him
that. Hargrave has shown up. He's got a couple of sacks, and but Jonathan Allen really, you hardly hear his name.
Might as well not even be out there. Fucking ghost. It is Halloween time, I guess.
Yeah.
So, you know what though? Going off of that, Rhino, and I think you're gonna agree with me here. The biggest concern going into the next week, into the remainder of the season, the run defense.
Yeah, it's an issue.
If you can't stop the other team from running, it's going to be a long fucking season.
Mm-hmm.
Look who we got coming up.
Right.
Barkley, Derrick Henry. You got the Gibbs and Montgomery train going on there. Omarion Hampton, who we don't know much about because he's a rookie.
Right.
So
Eric McCoy from the Saints. That's another name. Another name that I have heard rumblings, and the Ravens right now seem like they're kind of might be moving towards a fire sale. They're sitting at like 1-4.
Who's this?
Eric McCoy is the center from the Saints, but
no, who were you? The team there?
Tyler Linderbaum.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that too.
Because they declined his 5th-year option
He's
prior to
basically
the
what we
season.
wanted Bradbury to be, was Tyler Lindenbaum. That's who we wanted Bradbury to fucking
Yeah,
develop into.
and there's a lot of people that weren't fans of Linderbaum because Bradbury-ish vibes coming out of college, and
I agree, and
yeah, and that's exactly when we saw that last night. That Philly went out and got beat by Jackson Dart and the New York Giants.
that's what I was saying a couple of weeks ago. That you know what? Some teams are good from last year that are now bad. That's how
Yeah,
the NFL works. Some bad teams from last year are now good. You
yeah,
don't know really
but
what you're getting into when you step into the field
the last two
until
week, the
after
last two
October.
weeks with Philly, and we got Philly coming up. We'll talk about more about that next week. But the Philly got exposed the last 2 weeks versus Denver last week and against the Giants last night.
Philly has no passing game whatsoever
No,
right now.
if you can shut down Barkley, you can beat Philly.
But you know what's going to piss me off, and it pissed me off last night? Watching the fucking Eagles running 4 straight tush pushes into the end zone. Somebody's got to stop that shit. Or, you know what? Fucking give Hurts a big whack or some shit to make him think twice about running that against your defense. Because I'm about getting sick of it. Yeah,
I
I believe that the tush push has a place in the NFL. I truly do. But when you're running it like that, it's like a cheat code
yeah,
almost.
and I'm not one to advocate for illegal activity, I
I'm
guess you
not
would
saying
call it.
illegally hit
No,
him. I'm
but
not
but I
saying that.
but yes, to what your point was, just have somebody just freaking fly in there and freaking pop Jalen Hurts, knock him on his ass. They
It's
might think twice about
fucking
doing that.
hair pullingly frustrating, even seeing it when it's not even my team. When it's not even my team getting it done to.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that nobody can stop it. They haven't been able to stop it for like 3
Like
years.
I said, it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code.
It really is. It's something.
Or you know, if the NFL is going to do anything about it, only allow it on the 4th down. Only allow the tush push on 4th downs.
I'm not. I don't like that either. But rolling my pants up like we rolled our pants up like in the late '80s, early '90s. You had
I
that.
swear to God, that guy's smoking some shit.
Well, he is.
God,
He's gonna
Jesus.
he's going to be doing that in the unemployment line pretty soon. The way the Dolphins are going, but is he the first coach fired this year? That's the next question.
See, I had high hopes for McDaniel down there in Miami, but this last 2 fucking years have just been not what you want to see.
No, I mean, he's a good offensive mind. Don't get me
He
wrong
is.
on that, but
I think he's a liability in coverage. And
yeah,
speaking of liability in coverage and just overall regression in play, and I have this guy's jersey because I had really high hopes for him as a throughout his
Ivan
career.
Pace.
Ivan fucking Pace. I'm almost at the
Yeah,
point right
I
now
don't
when
know.
Cashman comes back, you go Cashman and Wilson, and you rotate between Wilson and Pace.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if he's just losing his discipline or what's going on. But I mean, that guy's got more missed tackles this year than anybody else in the league, I think.
Yeah, Pace has definitely regressed this year, and like I said, when Cashman comes back, you might want to be thinking about rotating between Wilson and Pace.
Yeah, and hopefully, yeah, getting Cashman back next week will be huge.
Now, do you think O'Neal comes back this week, or do you think they're going to wait until after
I think he's
Chargers
probably
game?
out another week. An MCL tear
No,
or
it was a sprain. A sprain.
sprain. I'll put it this way: I'm not a professional athlete. Never have been. Never will be.
Your knees are pretty
I,
fucking important, that's for sure.
right, but I mean, a month ago, when we were still at the lake, I went to go grab a hold of the canopy when we were trying to get the boat on the lift when it was really windy, and I hooked my foot on something and I fell on my knee, and I fucked it up at that point in time. It's still fucked up.
Yeah.
So you gotta. Granted, the NFL has state of the art rehab and all this other facilities that I don't have, but they're not going to rush him back out there if there's a chance of re-injury.
And if they're gonna stick with this offensive play calling, like maybe it was an aha moment against the Browns. Maybe that's kind of the offense you need to run at this point. Hopefully, they kind of stick with that quick hitter game.
You got to
Then
mix. You got to
you could
mix it
afford,
in, even regardless. But
yeah, absolutely. And then you could afford, I think, to have School out there another week at right tackle.
yeah, I mean, if he plays like he did last week, I'm okay with it. If not, then you got to put Walter Rouse out there, as far as I'm concerned. But
Right.
uh, other stuff off, we're into the bye week hitters. We just kind of rolled it right
Right.
in.
Come on. We're good. The comments. This is open discussion right
Right.
now. So anything you
Anything
want
you
to.
guys want to bring up in here while we're talking about this stuff?
Oh, might as well talk about the quarterback with one of the things that we highlighted in this week's show, the quarterback
Right.
situation.
Yeah, I was waiting on that, but we can just well talk about that. Uh, who starts next week?
If JJ is ready to go 100% healthy, you fucking start with JJ. You
Well,
go back to JJ.
and Carson Wentz has a shoulder issue right now. He went into the blue tent right before the half against Cleveland. Thankfully, it was his non-throwing shoulder, but
People need to understand that these young guys are going to take some time to get used to the speed of the game at the NFL level. There's very few, especially at the quarterback position, that can walk in and have that feel right away for the speed of the game. I mean, just off the top of my head, Jackson Dart played a shitty game last week. Came back this week and
played
lit it
great.
up against Philly.
Yep. Doc,
You go
I'm
back to Bo
I'm
Nix
already
last
there,
year.
Doc. So don't.
You go back to Bo Nix last year, who I wasn't a big fan of, and
I'm still not a fan of him.
I'm still not claiming to be, but he gradually progressed as the season went on and was able to help Denver win some games last season.
Yeah.
It's very seldom, especially at the quarterback position, where you can come in and as I was hoping preseason that he was going to come in and light it up. Well, that's not the case. But at the same time, you have to have patience in the development and believe that the staff can get McCarthy to where he needs to be.
Yeah. Well, and
he's not going to do that sitting on the bench.
No, and if nothing else, this probably showed that the starters should have been playing more in the preseason games.
No, Brian DeBall lost to Spencer Radler, not Jackson Dart. I'm not going to go that far. I wouldn't say that. But Dart did have a shitty game, putting the ball on the ground like he did, getting fucking the ball knocked out of his hands by Casper the Friendly Ghost. So
yeah. And to be fair, Spencer Rattler looked pretty good in that game.
He did, and he was due for a win. I mean,
yeah, he's looked like ass in pretty much every other game that he's played, but he looked pretty good in that one. So
that too, right? I agree,
yep.
But that, like I said again, he's a rookie. You gotta give these guys some time.
Yeah. Now to Ant's point, or to discussing Ant's point,
and Wentz has given us that affordability to give us a little bit more time with him.
Yeah. McCarthy makes a leap like Dart has. I'm not ready to sit here and say that Jackson Dart has arrived. I mean, he could come out again this week and have another one of those ass games.
Right.
But I like Jackson Dart. I thought he was, one of the better quarterbacks coming out of this class. And so far, he's really shown that. I mean, there really hasn't been anybody else that's really stood out so far.
Well,
but
Gabriel looked good last week against us. Didn't get the win.
Dylan Gabriel didn't. He looked like he could be. There could be something there.
Dylan Gabriel has played a lot of football.
He has.
Max Brosmer has played a lot of football.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. McCarthy had 2 years in college, and then the rest was high school.
Yeah. So, J.J. McCarthy is still the youngest quarterback in the league.
I am willing to be patient with this kid, and hopefully he can find his stride. A lot of times, these rookies that you hit November and they really start to pick it up. So
and I've been mixing it up on Twitter X this week or whatever. Some people that you got ESAT Nation that's out there's already declaring that J.J. McCarthy is the next Christian Ponder, and we should just cut our losses and go and all this other stuff. You look at these guys. If you took that mindset, Peyton Manning would have never amounted to anything in the league. He threw 25 interceptions his rookie
Dude.
year.
And it seems like back in those days
Steve
they had
Young.
more patience.
Steve
Yes.
Young was awful when he played for Tampa Bay.
Who I compared McCarthy to, by the way.
Right. And then Young goes to San Francisco, beats out the legendary
He even
Joe
spent a year in the
Montana.
USFL, Rhino. Young spent a year in the USFL.
Yeah, he did.
So I'm not hoping it takes that long for
Kurt
McCarthy
Warner
to
was
come
out of
along,
the league playing in the Arena Football League and then got called back in as a backup for the Rams.
A light bulb just went off and got put in the right system and lit it up.
You got Ant all hot and bothered. You said bro.
I know. I seen that. Made me smile. It was funny. I agree. Exactly. Exactly, Norse. Yes.
Just got to give the kid some time.
Relax. You can't give up on the kid after 2 fucking games.
No.
Coming in when KOC didn't even look like he had it figured out.
No.
Up until a couple weeks ago, what he wanted to do with the offense, and in KOC's defense, who could have prophesized the injuries that were going to be along the offensive line and with Gink and with Cashman on defense as well.
Luke Braun.
I'm not using injuries as excuses, but there's some big losses when you're walking into the game against the best front 7 in the league, and you're playing with backups all along your offensive line. Hopefully we got it figured out now.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, there's a very real possibility that we will never see the anticipated starting 5 offensive line play together this year.
And Swede, hopefully it's just one of those instances where you get the injury bug out right away, and then the next 10 years he fucking doesn't miss a game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Doc, you're right. I agree 100%.
Honestly, Rye? Yeah, there we go. You already... Okay. Thor's got basically his career on the line, in my opinion, with the way he has backed McCarthy.
Yeah.
Up and down.
He has completely hitched his
wagon to his
wagon
truck.
to that one, yeah.
So...
And, I mean,
I've seen it with the kid. The kid can play ball. The fucking college tape isn't a mirage. And the thing is that we talked about J.J. Jefferson's maturity coming in and the way he's held him. McCarthy's the same way. It's the same mindset, the same head on the shoulders is what you want in your guy. Now let's see it translate to the field. I believe not playing the game for 600 days had a lot to do with it.
Well, you're gonna be rusty.
You think? Maybe, but I will hold O'Connell accountable to this. He needed to fucking play those starters more in the preseason.
Right. And we talked about that then, back then too, that, they should have been giving McCarthy, a half in all 3 of those games.
Yes. But with that being said, Rhino, I truly, truly believe, and take this for what it's worth, everybody out there, that this Vikings team can get hot at the right time and become that team that gets hot going into the second half of the season and into the playoffs.
Well, and we're looking at this next 4-game stretch coming up here, that on paper is the toughest. The Vikings have on paper the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. But
these next 5 games will be very telling us how far this team can go.
Right, but you look, Philadelphia has shown the last 2 weeks that they're beatable. The formula to beat Philly has been found. You stop Saquon Barkley, and you can beat the Eagles. Then who do we have after that? We have
Isaiah Rodgers, man. Give him some.
Oh yeah, and we'll talk about that next
week. I was talking to Josh last night at the Disgusting Act. The biggest concern going into the season has been the pass defense. What was the pass defense? And you know what? Flo was right. That staff was right to believe in the guys that they had in the building because they're fucking. I think we're the number 4 pass defense in the league right now.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But then we're like the 28th or whatever run defense, but
overall defense is up towards the top, though.
Yeah.
So. That was last year. This is now. I love
Mm,
that.
That's true. But yeah, and I mean, we'll get into that. A lot of this stuff we're going to know more by the time we do our show next week on what's going on. I
Yes, lad.
fully, yeah, Baltimore. Baltimore is in a real hurt bag right now,
You know what? The
especially.
Lions can get beat too. The Lions can be beat too.
Yeah, Lamar
We're about
Jackson.
due.
Lamar Jackson, we don't know how long he's out for. If he's back by the time we play him, that probably would be like his first game back.
Right. He's out. He
Um,
was ruled out for this weekend. So,
yep. Uh, the Chargers have issues with injuries right now. I mean, Chargers are a really good team.
Doc, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, if we can go,
Realistically, we're not going to go like I predicted before the season, 13-4. We're not going 13-4. We're
no.
not gonna. I would love it. I would love it. I would love that. But we're gonna have. I'm hoping that we can get to 11
Well, that's where
wins.
I had us sitting was 11-6, and I
Right.
think it's still
And
possible.
that's getting you into the playoffs.
Yep. Baltimore is beatable. Philly has shown they can be beat. The Chargers
This is
have
so
some
true. This
issues.
always rings true. This
Yep,
always rings true. It does, Norse.
it does. So, if we can get out of this next 4-game stretch at a minute, at worst at 2-2, we're still sitting in really good shape for the rest
Well,
of the year.
we're sitting at what 5-4 then.
Yeah.
That's gets pushing it a little tight there for me, but I would like to come out at least. I'm
Yeah.
going to say the next 3 games 2-1,
Yeah,
five and
sitting at
three.
6-3 would be preferable, but
Yes, yes,
at worst, if we're 5-4, I still think we run a really good chat. We might not, depending upon what the rest of the or the division's doing, we may not be in line for winning the division, but we're still right there. Right now, we're the 7th seed, but
right.
the playoffs started today, so
And I think our best ball is ahead of us this season. So
yeah.
I
Well,
truly, honestly
I sure
believe
hope
that
so because we haven't played our best ball yet this year.
that run defense is my biggest concern coming out of the bye
Yep, it
week. It
is,
needs to get shored up.
and that's the thing we got there. They got to figure that out over this next week before we have to deal with Philadelphia
And
because
Jonathan Allen needs to take his fucking ghost costume off.
yeah, I don't know what's going on there,
It's
but
not
yeah,
that he hasn't been healthy, Rhino. You haven't heard anything
no,
on the injury wire with his health. It's been
no,
Hargrave, but Hargrave has been showing up,
but
in spot.
Allen's not even showing up in the stat line for most of this stuff.
No, he's pulling a Chris Ovan out there right now.
Yeah, so I was a little. I mean, I liked the signing at the time, but I had a little bit of something in the back of my
Wish
mind.
we could have got Payne.
Yeah,
Allen's
but
good though. I mean, hopefully,
he is, but again, he's on sitting there at the wrong side of 30, and I don't know if he's hitting that wall or
but what about Jalen Redmond, man? And you know what? LDR he's leveled up since last year as well.
absolute. Oh yeah, he's LDR could start.
Jalen Redmond's always been that guy. Nobody just knew about it until he showed up.
Well, I mean, they talked about that. He was a camp body when we
I
brought
talked
him
him up
in.
last year when we first signed him. I went back and did my research on the kid, and I knew he had something in him.
Yeah, and he's proven it. I mean, he won a starting job last year, over Jerry Tillery by late season,
The
and then
fourth best ranked defensive interior lineman, Jalen Redmond.
yeah. No, he's got what 3 sacks so far this year, or something
I
like
think
that.
4.
I mean,
I think he has 4,
4.
Rhino.
Yes,
That's good.
he's
That's good on any defensive tackle in the whole season.
yeah. I mean, he's leading the team in sacks, and like you said, he's as far as defensive tackles go. I mean, he's right up there. One other
That's the
thing I
thing
want
with
to
his defense.
Speaking of sacks, one other thing I want to bring up that was brought up earlier that before we forget about it, the Dallas Turner thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are looking at it and thinking that there's nothing there because he doesn't have the sack numbers. Well,
Grenard's not really having
Grenard's
big
he's got the same amount of sacks as Grenard's got right now.
right.
But the thing with
That's why I
Dallas,
say
but
our
Dallas
best ball's
Turner
ahead
is
of us.
showing up in a lot of other ways. He's way up there in the league in pressures. he's doing the job. He's just not getting those flashy sack numbers yet, and that's going to come.
Like that comes with, like I said, our best football is right ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe it. And the Flores defense, and historically, doesn't matter where he's been. It takes about
It
5
starts
or
a little
6 weeks
slow.
to start heating up.
Yep, about week 5, week 6, then they get into their groove. Yep.
You know, and right now we're already looking better than 3/4 of the league's defenses. So
Right. As long as we can get that run defense in. Probably maybe Kevin Williams.
I would say Kevin Williams.
If it wasn't Kevin Williams, then it was John Randall would be the last one.
Yeah, I would say it was probably Kevin Williams. He played with a lot of atrocious defensive ends.
No, we've had more since Alan Page, Ant.
But yeah, Kevin Williams played with a lot of atrocious defensive ends. With what you got, your fucking Erasmus James, Kanechi,
Henry Thomas never led the team in sacks, Ant.
Millard might have.
Millard did, yeah. Millard almost had the sack record, so yeah, he did. He did, but then Randall came after him.
We were blessed with defensive tackle talent for a long time there.
Yeah, in that 80s, 90s, and into the early 2000s, yeah. And then we've had a drought for like the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to get back a little. You know, you got Redmond, you've got LDR, you've got Ingram Dawkins, who's looking good.
Williams is an interesting prospect as well at the end of the depth chart there.
Yes, I mean the future looks like we could be getting back to more of what we expect out of a Minnesota Vikings defensive front. So
if this offense can find its way, this team has got a lot of good things ahead of it. And if this run defense can start clamping down, like they did against what the fuck's his nuts against the Bears running back that first week. I can't think of what his name is for the life of me right now. It's not Montgomery. It was the other one. Swift, yeah. Swift. If they can clamp it down like they did with Swift and Chase Brown. Chase Brown's been getting clamped down by everybody, though, this year. So, but if we can shore up that run defense and start clicking on offense and get this offense rolling, this team is going to go a long ways.
Yeah.
We will win a playoff game if that offense can get it figured out and that run defense can get shored up. So, okay, predictions.
All right. We were almost at an hour here, so yes, we will move on to the prediction segment where, of course, we always pick not only Minnesota Vikings games, but also the games of our rivals of the NFC North. Now, of course, this week,
we win our bye week if the NFC North, the teams lose theirs.
Yes, the Vikings will win the bye this week, but there are 3 games this week. Now, of course, the Bears and Packers were on bye last week. Now they are back off this week. Joe Flacco has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever.
Fucking love this.
The Cincinnati Bengals travel to Lambeau Field 3:25 on Sunday to take on the Packers. Now, Flacco was the quarterback of record with the Cleveland Browns when they beat the Packers a couple weeks ago. So he does have the opportunity to go
I would love
again
for this to happen.
I would laugh my ass off if he goes out and throws for like 350 yards, you know.
Just the way everybody's been stroking the Packers since before the season. I've been bitching about it, I think, every week we've had a show.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, just the way that, and they're still continuing to stroke this Packers team that hasn't shown me much of anything.
No.
So, I mean, I would love for them to drop this one to Cincy.
First play, just a deep bomb to Jamar Chase and just have him freaking.
You know, they should be able to feast on that Packers fucking defensive backfield.
Yeah. Again, if their offensive line can hold up. Got to keep Micah Parsons out of there for more than a half a second. But I would, as much as I would love to see it, I can't in good conscience pick the Bengals for just as much of a clusterfuck as that team is.
I'm picking them.
Okay, I would love to, but I'm trying to be objective in my picks here, and I think It wouldn't surprise. I'll put it this way: it wouldn't surprise me if they beat them. But
Norse. Millard with 18 and 89 was the last time the interior defensive
no,
lineman.
John Randall had 15 and a half in 97.
But did he lead the team in
Yeah,
sacks?
he did.
He did. Okay.
We didn't have much for defensive ends at that point in time, other than Dolman was in there, but not guys that got super high sack totals other than Dolman. But
I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but the Packers are probably gonna win. We'll go with that.
yeah, I'll pick the Packers, but I hope the Bengals do the
There you
funniest thing
go.
ever and pull that off. But
I would love it. I would love to see Flacco get that accolade too, to beat Packers twice in one season on two different
on two
teams.
different teams, yeah. All right, second game of the trifecta. Sunday night football, the Detroit Lions going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs.
Chiefs need one here bad.
They do. The Chiefs are not looking good this year. I mean, Jacksonville pretty much had their way with them the other night.
If the Chiefs lose to the Lions, they might want to be getting pretty damn concerned, to be honest with you.
And
About
it's a
even
very
making the playoffs this
it's a
year.
very real possibility they do lose to Detroit. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the back's against the wall and everything in Kansas City.
I think Kansas City wins this in the
I
game.
think I'm going to pick Kansas City in this one
They
too.
need it more than Detroit needs it.
Yep. And I think I think they're going to get something figured out. If it was in Detroit, I think it would be an easier pick for the Lions. But
God, I hope we meet up with Detroit that we're tied records and we could just shove it down their throat.
mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll take the Chiefs on Sunday night football here too.
Yeah.
Then Monday night football. There's a Monday night doubleheader again this week for some goddamn reason. I don't understand that either. But
Could
anyway,
be East Coast, West Coast thing, I'm guessing.
but it's in the second game is the Bears and the Commanders.
They're gonna have him playing in the fucking 1:00 in the morning. What the fuck is that?
Well,
I can see if it was in.
I think the two games are both playing at the same time.
Oh, they're both that's
It,
ridiculous.
it makes no fucking sense, but
That's
whatever.
moronic.
But the Bears going into DC to face the Commanders.
I love me some Dan Quinn. I do. He's a great head coach. You know, I don't know, man. They said that you said it's played in Chicago. This game is.
No, Washington.
It's in Washington. Okay. I hate to not pick any of the NFC North teams, but I'm gonna go with Washington here just because they're in Washington, because they're Dan Quinn, and they're winning some games this year. They started out hot, so Jaden Daniels looked really good last weekend, by the way. So
and this was the game last year that sent the Chicago Bears season into a tailspin. If you remember that
Hail Mary
with Ramondre Stevenson, or not, whatever the fuck his name is, that basically was taunting going down the field and just lackadaisically going down there, and then tipped the Hail Mary pass that Washington came down.
Edwards? Was it Edwards? No, it was
Stevenson.
Okay.
But anyway, could this game here again derail the Chicago Bears season? It's very possible.
See, I really don't even know what to think about the Chicago Bears right now.
No, I don't either. I mean,
I don't really know what to think. One week they look pretty good, and the next week they look like horse shit. So,
I mean, I will say, as much as I have ripped on Caleb Williams and with good reason,
he's playing pretty good ball right now.
He's playing pretty decent ball right now.
But you got Ben Johnson reining him in as best as he can. So yeah. I mean, that says a lot too.
So, yeah, I'm going Commanders here as well. Tyreek Stevenson, yes, Ant. Yeah, that's it. I'm going Commanders. I'm a big Dan Quinn guy. I like Jaden Daniels. He's healthy again now, and yeah, I think they get it done in DC. So, with that, that's about all we've got for tonight. Unless you got anything else you want to hit there, Lance.
No, I think we've hit everything. Unless they got something else in the comments before we wrap it up here.
Yeah,
but you can go ahead and start.
I think we're good for the
Like
night.
and subscribe if you haven't already, like Norris said at the beginning of the show.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follows, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all three of them. If you have not been on there, please do
Weekly
so.
show.
We
Weekly show.
we really appreciate that. Great conversations in the chat as always. You guys bring it every week, and that's why we do these shows live, because it makes it so much more fun. And we just want to be up here talking off-season
needs right now.
Riley, I'm not going to get into that right now, but one of them rhymes with Schminter. But anyway, thanks again, guys, for joining on the late night Friday. Appreciate you joining with the change in time that we had to do this week due to unforeseen circumstances. But as the bye week goes through, let's hope that they get some stuff straightened out, get some people healthy, and we will be back next week to preview the game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Friday night, most likely.
Yep. To quote our buddy Ted Glover, will J.J. McCarthy or Carson Wentz be the quarterback? We'll find out. So we will we'll know by that we will know by next week who's going to start most likely.
I'm excited for either one. If McCarthy's not ready to go, then you put Wentz out there. If McCarthy's 100%, you put McCarthy out there. Either way, I think it's either one of the two.
Yep. Either way, we just go out and win. So with that, again, thank you everybody, and why don't you take us out of here, Lance?
Wrapped it up pretty well. It's a late night tonight. I ain't got much else to say that I haven't said already. I love you guys in the comments. Like I said, an extended family for me. These smiles you give me are all genuine. I love it. I'm glad to be here. Been doing this for 5 years now. Let's turn the ship around and get it back on the right track and show this league what this Vikings team is made of. With that being said, we'll see you all next Friday, 9 p.m. Central, for another episode of Vikings Uncensored. Millie and Aubrey, if you're out there watching, Dad loves and misses you. Skol.
Have a great weekend, everybody.